Oh, was this maybe the best performance of your career so far?
I'm not sure. Maybe it was up there.
Yeah. What was happening when, especially in that first half, did you feel something different today? Because you were just unstoppable.
Yeah, I've not had a pre-season, so the first game's coming back. I was just taking a bit of time to get up to speed, but now I feel like I'm at full fitness, and yeah, I'm ready.
Any favorites from the 4 goals?
Oh, the free kick probably. Yeah,
I was gonna ask about the free kick. Have you been practicing it? Because it was a perfect free kick.
No, I was just deciding which side to go, left or right, and then I seen the keeper was a bit more to the left, so I thought I'll just go over the wall, and went top corner.
So you haven't even been practicing that much free kicks specifically, because the finishing, of course, we know.
No, not really. Just messing about and stuff. I've really not practice, but yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. You made history being the first player to score 4 goals in the first half in a Premier League match. So that's quite outstanding. I imagine you're very proud of that.
Yeah, I didn't know. The lads just told me then. So yeah, I'm really happy about it.
Last season, I was a little bit reticent to say he was the best player in the Premier League. I actually felt he was, but the fact Chelsea hadn't had such a great season, and I ended up going for Foden, just above him. And most people thought the same, because Foden got, I think, the 2 Player of the Year awards. But inside me, I felt like he was the best player in the Premier League. And on the back of last season and this season, if he carries on this again through this season, I think he's the best player in the Premier League. I do. Because you think he's not playing with the absolute elite at sort of Manchester City. He's obviously moved on from there. And when I look at him now, and I think of the last player who I classed as the best player in the Premier League, who didn't play for one of the teams who were maybe going for the title, I don't think Chelsea will be doing that this season, was probably Gareth Bale. Different type of player, more athletic Gareth Bale. But for a couple of years at Tottenham, he was the best player in the Premier League, even though his team was sort of just a team battling for Champions League, as Cole Palmer's will be. But I go back to the consideration with Phil Foden. I actually feel a little bit for Phil Foden. He's never really grabbed that England position. You're talking about the national team, and players have come from nowhere and almost took his place. So at one stage, it felt like he was going to be the right winger for England, and then Saka comes in. Then it's okay, he's the number 10. Jude Bellingham comes in. And then you think, okay, we'll get Foden in the team somewhere, left-footed. Cole Palmer comes along. Now, I absolutely adore Phil Foden. But Cole Palmer has to play in the England team because, as I've just said there, for me, right now, there is no better player in the Premier League over the last 15 months.
Welcome back to Kelly and Wrighty with Jules Squared and Wrighty Squared. Today we're moving on to chatting about Chelsea, a big win for them, the Cole Palmer show. He takes all the headlines.
Yeah, he does. And the move from City to Chelsea is one that will probably not live well in history of Manchester City. But for him to leave Man City and get to Chelsea and perform like he has, whoever spotted that, whoever made that move has done an unbelievable job, not only for Cole Palmer, but for Chelsea as well, because I don't think anybody saw that coming.
No.
And nobody saw, when he went from City to Chelsea, the form that he was going to hit, the calibre of player we're dealing with. And now, again, 4 goals, involved. His football intelligence is somewhere else. It's amazing in that last third. I've never seen him make a poor pass in the last third. And when he comes to finishing, he's absolutely clinical.
Yeah, just the vision that he has, the timing of his runs as well has been highlighted as one of his strengths.
Yeah, I think the way he plays is a man that don't mind pressure. That makes him become the person he is on that pitch. He wants everything to go through him. And I always ask myself the question, if he was at City, would he perform the way he's performing now for Chelsea? And in many ways, I always say no, not because he isn't the player he is now, but mainly because of the way Man City play. We play quite slow, in many terms, bore teams to death, wait for that sometimes perfect pass to come up without forcing it, whereas Cole Palmer plays in that hectic pitch where Chelsea just go, don't they? When they get the attack, everything goes through him. So he can do what he wants to do. And it reminds me a little bit, not like me, but when I was first at City, anytime we broke, the ball came straight to me. The same thing's happening to him at Chelsea. And every time he gets the ball, he's doing exactly what Dad says. Every decision he seems to make at the minute is the correct one. And if it doesn't work, the idea is still right in what he was trying to do. But when he does get in those opportunities, he's not only scoring, he's assisting, and he works hard as well. I think people don't realise, you see him back there tracking the fullback if he has to. He helps the team as well. So the way Chelsea are going right now, everyone needs to be careful because they're doing exactly what Liverpool are doing in many ways, just going quietly about their business and picking up the points, as many as they can along the way.
Yeah, I think for Cole Palmer, for some players, that pressure of being the main man can be too much. Cole Palmer made a brave decision to leave Manchester City to go to Chelsea. We saw what he did last season and there were questions, could he repeat it again? He's just loving it, he's relishing it.
Yeah, I think so. For me, he's a street player, and there's not many that are produced here in England because this is just a different culture. But he plays almost like he was playing on the street with his mate, or you know, on a pitch somewhere five-a-side. This is it. He's so much talent, and he's so natural. There's nothing that he overthinks, or there's nothing that he does that he doesn't need to do, really. And that's why I really admire about him. He was disappointed after the game, 4 goals, because he knows he should have had 6.
Yeah.
And easily 2 assists because he created, I think, 4 big chances in the second half, for example, for other players in the team. So outstanding talent. And I agree with Sean in the sense that a bit of a structure and letting him be free, letting him do what he wants. And the highlight from Brighton, no problem. Give me the ball and I will benefit from it. And I think he's the leader of this young, exciting team.
I think you look at him now, and the way he's emerged and what he brings to Chelsea, goals and creativity. If he was a player that didn't come from City and he was here, he would be a player that City would be interested in.
He's the leader of this young, exciting team.
I think you look at him now, and the way he's emerged and what he brings to Chelsea, goals and creativity. If he was a player that didn't come from City and he was here, he would be a player that City would be interested in, sure. And what he brings to Chelsea, goals and creativity. If he was a player that didn't come from City and he was here, he would be a player that City would be interested in, surely, with that kind of form. That's what I'm saying about, like, I know what you're saying, Sean, about how the way they play, but, like, remember, he come through their academy, he would know how to play with them. But you look at somebody, well, the thing is that I think that he could play anywhere from that 8 onward. He could play anywhere. Apart from City, he could play 8, 10, and he could play anywhere across that line with these. Believe that he could score and create. 8, 10, and he could play anywhere across that line with these capabilities.
Someone would have to tell me how he played for England at the Euros, because this is beyond me.
It was tough. It was tough for him to get in there at that stage because, you know, I don't even want to go into it. You know, trying to squeeze him into the team caused so much headache, so much headache for me.
One thing that Jules mentioned, though, which I think impressed all of us, was that in his post-match interview, you've just become the first Premier League player in history to score 4 goals in the first half. And what are you talking about? The fact that you could have had more.
Yeah, because he's obviously, he's not satisfied, and neither should he be. Because rather than think about the 4 goals he scores, he's thinking about, like you mentioned, Sean, they're just going about their business there, Jules, but they've got the team. Obviously, they need to sort their defence out.
Yeah.
They need to sort that out, but they've got a team that if they slot to sort their defence out, they need to sort that out, but they've got a team that if they slot, they need experience.
Yeah, a bit, yeah.
If they could have experience, 2 experienced defenders there, Jules, then you're starting to look at them as a team that they're going to be kingmakers or they're going to cause problems. Because
you look at this game and they obviously dominated and they got a big victory. They exposed Brighton's high line, but they still conceded 2 goals, right?
Do you know what I love is that, to be honest, is Jackson. I was highly critical of him last year. I think to see the difference in him this year in that final third area, he's definitely had one-on-one work with the manager, and that's helping Chelsea as well, because now they're not just relying on Cole Palmer. He's stepping up to the plate, whether it be assist or scoring. He's in the right places. He's taking the chances. I love Balaba, by the way. And Chelsea's goal that they conceded just that second ago is something that's been happening since pre-season. I feel like the centre-backs or the players he's playing in those positions ain't used to high risk reward and playing comfortably at the back and to beat the press, but they've improved massively since that moment. And if they keep improving, then we're going to have another situation of, say, your Arsenals, your Liverpools and your Man Cities and your Brightons, where they're beating the press, and with their attack they're going to cause a lot of people problems. And Sancho, he's playing well for me at the minute as well. So
are they settled yet defensively? Do we know who their best back line is?
Yeah, I mean, the right back is the problem because Gusto came back, but he was injured. Reece James seems to be, unfortunately for him, injured a lot. But then I think Cucurella left back, Colwill and Fofana together. Right is right, though. This is very... Cucurella not so much, but the two centre-backs, Fofana, who's obviously spent 2 years injured, and Colwill, who's, for me, very, very talented, but still very young. maybe lack a little bit of that experience. And in front of them, Enzo and Caicedo are, I think, naturally attracted going forward. This is the way they played previously with other clubs too. So in terms of balance, there's something that they need to sort out, because even in the game where they were far better than Brighton, they still conceded more than just the 2 goals.
Two really crazy goals as well.
Yeah,
crazy
really
goals.
poor goals. And even Sanchez, I know he had a great game at Bournemouth and he saved the penalty, etc. But that was really bad from him on Saturday.
Yeah, but overall for Chelsea moving in the right direction.
Absolutely, yeah, they are. And what's good about Chelsea moving in the right direction is that no one's taking any notice. You know, so, you know, because everybody's preoccupied with City and Arsenal, and even Liverpool. Liverpool are the ones as well who are benefiting from the City and Arsenal talk, where Liverpool are just going along about their business, doing their stuff. So Chelsea, it's an interesting one to watch at the moment, Jules.
Yeah.
Interesting one to watch.
Did you guys have a favourite of the Palmer goals?
The free kick.
Free kick,
The free kick. I thought that's a bit far. You know, it's not far out, but you're thinking, is he going to try it from there?
Yeah.
And you know, it's the power. It's the amount of power from here, from goal, for like goalkeeper, like the side. You know what I mean, Jules? And look how high up it goes in with power. You know, it's just, it's fantastic. Watch it. Look, it's going in away from him with power. You just think, wow, the technique.
He's definitely hit it hard, because
He's
the
really
keeper,
hit that hard.
Normally a keeper in a wall is on the other side of the wall, whereas he's standing in the middle of the goal. So you expect him to get it. Like you expect, it's only 2 steps and he's there, whereas normally it's like 3 or 4 to kind of get across. He's hit that hard.
I think it's, and the thing is that what they've underestimated there is that wall is nowhere near big enough. And the distance where he's taking it from, Jules, he didn't even have to try hard to get it over that wall. So it's poor from Brighton, though.
That was your favourite too, right?
Yeah, you can't beat. I mean, I like the one that Sancho just passed him the ball and the finish at the near post.
Yeah.
But yeah, the free kick is brilliant.
Yeah, quick thought on Brighton and the way that they played. You mentioned it. We expected a high-scoring game here.
Yeah, but I like Fabian Hürzeler, and I think he's doing a good job. This is not the Bundesliga. This is not Germany. This is not St. Pauli. This is a better league. In Germany, you can, I think, afford that high line, even if it's not perfect, because there's less talent in the opposition team, especially him in the 2nd division.
Yeah.
You come here, you do that, you're going to get slaughtered every single game. Forest, the weekend before, took advantage of it in Brighton. This time, easily, I think they could have really scored 10 goals easily in that game. Yeah. And that's not acceptable if you're the Brighton manager.
So Chelsea going along well, Arsenal winning, Man City dropping points, and Liverpool going to the top of the table. Talk about teams doing the business quietly. It's definitely them.
It is, and the thing is, you have to be wary of them, because they've got very experienced players. They've made good signings. You're looking at Gravenberch's like re-emergence in that area of the field when they were trying to get Zubimendi, and then, you know, Liverpool do what they do again, where they say, OK, we can't get him, we'll stick with what we've got. And looking at his progression in that kind of 6 role you know, again, it's worked out for them. Yeah. Up front, they've got the pace, they've got the experience in midfield. Trent's looking good. Virgil looks as stable as, you know, it's just looking very nice at the moment for Liverpool with the way they're playing. You're not hearing no noise out of there, Jules, from anybody, because they know how to navigate this period as well.
Yeah, moving in silence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All eyes this weekend, though, since we've wrapped up. All eyes this weekend on Villa, Man United.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another tough one, Jules. I tell you, it's a tough one for them. Villa will be looking at that smelling blood as well, so we'll see.
All right, from Righty Squared and Jules Squared, it's been a pleasure spending Monday with you for a little bit. We'll see you next time.
What a fantastic footballer. And look at that, since the start of last season, more goal involvements than anybody, more than Haaland, Watkins, Salah and the rest. What a footballer. I mean, seriously, Karen, what a fantastic play. One of those players, I think, if you have a chance, whether Chelsea's your team or not is not the point. Go and watch him.
Yeah, he's a beautiful. It's like finesse. He like glides across the pitch. It's effortless, and he's got swag. And what I love about that interview is he scored 4 goals, but he's just fuming about the one that he's missed. He's thinking about that, and that for me shows signs of the ultimate high performer that wants to be the best. Wants perfection. In life, you can't get that, but you've got to strive towards it. And fair play, he was talking about it, wasn't he?
Let's look at... what we're going to show is almost as long as the edit we've just shown, because it just shows every facet of his game, Dion, and we can talk about it. First time any man scored 4 goals in the first half. He scored 4 in just about 20 minutes.
Yeah, listen, there's not a lot that he can't do, to be honest. Yeah, he's predominantly left-footed, but he's not afraid to use his right when he needs to. His runs seem to be at the right time, in the right place. His finish that he's about to use at any particular moment, he knows before it arises. His football intelligence is outstanding. Don't get too close, slow down. Just does everything right at the right time.
And you said, actually, you like the way that he would bust a gut, maybe when he'd played a pass, to go past 2 or 3 defenders, to get into a position then to finish it.
Absolutely. You know, playing the ball forward, and you can play the ball forward and just watch your pass and think, yeah, that's a great pass. But he wants to play the ball forward and get into a position to finish the run.
He never misses penalties either.
No, he doesn't. Or,
what about this?
This is ridiculously... it really is. I mean, you could put another goalkeeper in there that would have saved it either. But that is distance. But what I liked about this game today is these type of things, because some players don't play what the opposition give you.
Yeah.
And Brighton wrongly played a really high line and didn't defend it. And he was willing to run in behind. And sometimes number 10s historically, they only want to work in pocket spaces. But he's just like, no, I'll do what the opposition are giving me. Keep stretching. This run now, bang, in behind. And it's his intelligence to see those spaces and timing to make the run last minute. And for all good young players as well, he works really hard to win it back, you know, and he's put in his weight of pass to make someone else. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is so casual. It's ridiculous. I mean,
so good.
Should have scored though.
There is something about sport. There is something about sport, about men and women who are left-handed or left-footed, who are almost more elegant. You just think about all the sports you love. Tennis, cricket, golf. Those who are left-footed or left-handed have a swagger and an elegance.
Is that why? We
went wrong.
You went wrong. We all went wrong. But you know what I mean?
We were just hard working.
Workmanlike.
What about now? Listen. What about the whole Manchester City situation? Because I look at him and think, really, Pep? I know you've won 4 titles in a row, Pep. Could you really not have done with him? You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, he's brave to move. But would he have, you know, Phil Foden was player of the season last year, so I get it. But would he have had the game time to show us these type? I think he had to kind of move, and I'm sure Pep knows.
In the way that almost you couldn't have played Foden and Palmer in the same team. I mean, obviously, there's an England back.
How long it took Foden to break into the City team, and I'm not of course they'd want him now given the injuries and maybe changing things up. But sometimes as players, you've got to move elsewhere to shine, to show what the other team are missing.
We wouldn't have seen that Palmer if he was at City. No chance.
Well,
no chance.
But certainly not at the moment. He only started 3 Premier League games. Is he the best player in England at the moment? In the league?
On that form that we've seen this weekend, yes, I believe it. In regards what he brings to the table week in, week out, with the graphic we've just shown, with the assists and the goals, at this present time,
Yeah, good on it.
Well, that was one side of the story. The other, quite simply, was Cole Palmer again. As I mentioned, first player ever in Premier League history to score 4 goals in a half. Second time he scored 4 already in his Chelsea career.
Yeah, well, what more can we say about him? Let's just have a look at the goals for starters. I mean, he's carried on where he left off last season. Arguably the best player in the Premier League last season. I know Phil Foden got awarded the PFA Player of the Year, and rightly so.
10 out of 10 from the spot?
10 out of 10, yeah, which is so important. I mean, Jamie will go on to talk about his free kicks, being a special free kick taker himself back in the day. But, I mean, and this is probably my favourite finish. You know, he just knew exactly where the goal was. He didn't even have to look. Lovely weighted ball, lovely run.
That finish there, that was reminiscent of one of yours, Mike.
Yeah, I enjoy. Well,
makes a great run, not on the left foot. I'll take that back. But definitely on your right foot.
Talk to me about.
Just talk about the hat tricks first, because when you look at this and some of the Chelsea players he's with, most hat tricks in Premier League history, he's gone level already with Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, and he's done it in 39 games. And look at the amount of games that those other legends of the Premier League and Chelsea Football Club took. I mean, that just puts his rapid progress starkly into progress.
Unbelievable. What a fit. You know, there was a lot of talk that he was maybe going to go to Burnley on loan and just maybe see how things work out at Manchester City. He ended up taking the opportunity to go to Chelsea. I think it took a little bit of talking for him took him a little bit of time to get to that decision, moving down to London. You don't know what it's going to be like. You're a Manchester lad, but he's come down, he's settled so quickly. And he is just like in a very turbulent time, not so much at the moment, but just looks so calm and so at home. It's like he's playing football. You know when you see like when you go to the power leagues or the goals, and you're playing with your mates, and there's always someone much better than anybody else, and they're doing a few flicks and tricks. That's how he's playing Premier League football. And there always used to be players like that, but there's not many now that play with that freedom. I just can't get enough of watching him play football. And this free kick, I mean, I like a free kick, but his technique was, I mean, you see him there, he comes at almost a side angle and just hits that, gets it in somehow into this top corner in the inside of the net. And I think everybody's just like, wow. I mean, what a moment.
This is a great angle. I mean, the height, the dip, the bend, it had absolutely everything on it.
Wow. Yeah, and that's it. You know, he's cool, he's calm, and he knows he's good, you know, and he's full of confidence right now. The lefties, they do it better, don't they? They don't know what it is, he just looks so much better.
He loved the free kick, and Jamie, still to this day, has scored more Premier League free kicks for Liverpool than any other player.
Yes, and you know what? I was about 14 or 15 on the bench watching him live doing this.
Yeah.
I got a little treat at the end of the season.
This is Betamax.
It's black and white. But, listen, I do actually come a little bit more of a wide angle.
Yeah?
This was in the last minute against Blackburn when they won the league. I used to like that one and just try and get it, a bit of whip on it and into the side netting. I don't think Kenny was too pleased with me because they were obviously Blackburn were trying to win the title at the time.
Yeah.
But that was sort of my technique of just trying to get it into that space and use the wall and just try to get as much pace in it as he can. Some went in, some didn't.
Could anyone have envisaged quite what Cole Palmer's done since he moved to Chelsea, do you think?
No, well, let's just have a look at some of his best goals. I think this is my favourite, Jamie. Little nutmegs,
mate.
little Cruyff. I think I've shown this goal on this show about 4 times because I just want to see it every single week. It's just incredible. But this fella, as you say, he's cool as a cucumber. He's
nutmegs,
he's just
back heels. And then this finish, Michael, it opens his body up. I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah, lots of people get so excited, don't they, when they're about to score a goal that they I don't know, they panic, they just hit it, whereas he's still as calm right at the end.
But look at the ball bobbling, and he drags it away from the keeper, and then manages to just calm himself down and just roll it into the net. That's a great way to put it, actually. He never looks flustered, Michael, does he?
And this is the thing, when players beat somebody and they get closer and closer to the goal, closer and closer to scoring a goal, this is just to show that he can head the ball as well, by the way, they tend to get more and more excited and they lose sort of focus on what they're going to do.
To your point, Michael, there, look, it's a long pass, you get a touch, and all of a sudden you score a goal because teams aren't set up for it anymore. That was a lovely finish as well.
He's the opposite to what everybody else feels, isn't he? Everybody else, when they're watching a game, when the ball's getting closer to the goal, everybody else gets like tenser and they take a deep breath and their heart rate raises. Whether the closer he gets to the end product, when everybody else is going that way, their heart rate's going that way, he goes the other way. He goes colder. He goes calmer. And
Hence
it's just hence the celebration, yeah. And it's just an incredible way. It's totally the opposite to what normal people feel. And that's the hallmark of somebody that's clinical, class in front of goal. They just go into their own world. Everything comes in.
I don't want to
and you get
embarrass him,
calmer.
but I played with this guy, and I used to just marvel at him in front of goal because you should just do. But you had that, Michael. I mean, how do you make sure that you don't get too excited in front of goal?
That's what you practice all your life for. This is my moment. This is okay. The coming off and the linking play is all great, but this is what I'm paid for. And I just felt as if I could really focus, really concentrate, and just really go cold in front of goal. That's exactly what he does.